please call the roll.
Ms. Kayla Vaughn.
Are you, okay.
Oh,
He said
I'm
yes.
sorry. No, we call the roll, and then number 3 is
Right.
number sign.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bales,
Yes,
Ramirez,
Yes.
Cavalla.
Yes.
thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment just for a moment of silence. Worldwide and local, we have those problems that just seem to get bigger and bigger. Thank you. Thank you very much. Number 4, public delegation. There is none. Number 5, we get to swear in a new board member. Yeah, right up there on top of the whole thing, we get to do this. Okay, come here.
Somebody want to
You
take a
gotta
picture?
stand and look at the camera.
Please use your real name.
Yeah, yeah, please. Use your real name. Well, whatever, as long as it's real.
Okay.
Okay. You shall take and subscribe to the following oath. You want to just read it by yourself instead of
Sure.
me reading it?
I, Michelle Cook, hereby declare under oath that I will faithfully perform the duties of board member of Indiahoma School to the best of my ability, and that I will faithfully discharge all of the duties pertaining to said office and obey the Constitution and laws of the United States and Oklahoma.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Thank you.
That was nice.
So we can tell her now?
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, let's wait a little while. Number 6, superintendent report and board discussion.
Good evening, guys. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that we're currently working on in terms of construction projects and where we are. And later on, as I go over the evaluation, you'll get to see a little bit more about some of the things that we've done. But I wanted to talk to you about the progress on the Ag Barn electrical. Hopefully, the Ag Barn will be completed over fall break. They're working on it currently. I showed you pictures of it before. It was fire danger to our poor kids. They couldn't plug in some of the heaters that they needed, for example, over the winter to keep the animals warm. We're doing a complete rewiring of the whole thing over there. In addition to that, we're looking at more security lighting. So we're gonna put some lighting on the external walls. We have had some problems with people going over there to the Ag Barn and, you know, messing around with some of the things, either the animals, taking some of the aluminum out of there or whatever. And so this will really help with the security. We have a number of students that go out there first thing in the morning or right at dark, and we need some additional light out there. And guys, I'm just gonna tell you, even on the inside of that place, it's dark with the lighting. So
You putting up motion lights?
no, sir, it's just
Regular
the
on?
regular security lights that'll stay
Okay.
on. That'll stay on. It's not
Phyllis,
on motion.
you have another one of the
Agenda?
agendas.
Oh, right here. Yeah, right here.
Oh, Wendy?
I
Yes,
believe
ma'am.
Down through Cotton Electric to check on.
That's how it
Let
is.
them
I
do
take
that.
care of it.
Thank you, I appreciate
Security
it.
lights.
And
I
We
knew
have
I
a
had
company that's
one
coming in
for
to
her.
install them externally.
Okay.
We did get the, well, on another note, we needed some additional security lighting. And I was gonna talk about that a little bit later also as part of this evaluation. But we put them in the courtyard because we needed some more lighting out there. I've been called up during the middle of the night, 2 or 3 in the morning, because the alarm's going off, and it is dark out there.
We call them yard lights. I just thought maybe
Yeah.
they could
Yeah,
stagger Cotton Electric, could throw a few of them out there. We used to have lights on the ball field,
Right.
but that's another thing.
They help us with that. If there's some additional cost to it, but they do help us when we ask them.
Yeah.
The next thing is the weight room electrical and equipment. We're also getting that wired for electrical lighting and for the air purifiers that we need to put out there for our students. This is a huge upgrade for our athletic teens that wanna lift weights and need that conditioning, instead of using that tiny, tiny little room that we had before. We have a lot of students that are interested in using that weight room, and they literally have come to me and said, hey, can we go out there? And do you have somebody going out there? No, will you go out there with us? Yeah, I'll go out there with them. But they're using it every single afternoon. We're gonna get the lights put in out there. We're gonna be able to put in some air purifiers to make sure that there's good airflow in there. We did talk to Comanche Nation and various weightlifting entities out there, that had equipment, to see if we could get some. So far, we haven't been able to get them. No matter what, even if we have to purchase a little bit at a time, we're gonna make sure that the thing is fully operational by summer. Right now, we have 2 barbells out there, and last week we only had 1, and we had a donation. So, now we have 2 for our athletes, but I'm gonna make sure that thing is fully operational by summer.
Do you have a list of what you'd like to have?
I do. I already have it priced out, I already have a list, and I already have a plan for paying for some of it, yes.
What you got?
Well, I was just wondering if you published it, if people could donate.
They might be able to, any sort of donations would be more than, appreciated here. We'd have to take a look at the legalities of doing that and that sort of thing, but that is a good idea. We need some, just to let you know, we do need some squat racks, some bench press, a deadlift station, those types of basic types of equipment for our athletes, just to be able to work out in a fashion that is normal to any other athletic weightlifting room.
I wonder if Lawton has any equipment they're gonna be disposing of.
I haven't
We had
talked
an
to the
arrangement
public
with
schools.
Jack Hanna.
I'm
He's-
sorry?
Jack Hanna, he's in charge of purchasing and all, the whole Lawton school system. Call him, and he'll give you whatever, if he's got it, he'll give it to you.
If it's surplus.
Okay.
Yeah, but Miss Bogley had his number, but I'll get it for you.
Mhm.
And just tell him that I gave you the number and go from there. But
Understand.
might be able to, all them schools out there, they got that equipment.
Yeah, they do. I just want our kids to have something similar that they can work out.
Right.
And so that's what we're working on. That's one of our goals, is to upgrade that for our
I'll tell you
students.
what, I'll call it.
If ever calls them asking about playground equipment too,
Okay.
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
I see it laying down there and stuff not being used, and I just soon put it out here for our kids if we could.
Well, all these parks are closing down too. They may, may grab some of that.
Yeah.
Playground and,
Next thing on the list is the gym scoreboard and digital display for our banners. The scoreboard is up and operational. I'm very pleased about that. They came in and set it up. They didn't even use the lift on the thing. They just hoisted it up there and put it in. It
this
looks
is the new one we've been waiting on.
brand new one that we've been waiting for forever. It's up and operational. It works with the other unit so that they both work together. It's really
That's cool.
awesome to see. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to thank JB McClung and Miss Bogley, because they, gave us the donations that enabled us to put all of that together. So thank you very much for all of, the support that they're giving the athletic program. It's tremendous. The digital displays for our banners should be operational by the end of fall break. We're in the process of contacting the businesses to see if we can transition them digitally. And if they're unwilling to, we're not going to force it. We're going to let them keep their banners up until the end of our agreement. But if they want to, they can transition. We can remove some of those very, very large banners that we have in our gym. 6.2, the OSIG report. I've started the process of contacting our insurance company, the Oklahoma Schools Insurance Group, regarding our construction projects. If you recall, during our last meeting, I explained to everyone that I had contacted Heritage Hills about our hail damage claim, and they were supposed to be done by mid-September. Well, they're not done, and I haven't seen them. He started on the ag, and then he stopped, and I haven't seen him since. He still has some very big projects to do, including the cafeteria roof, the elementary roof, and the bus barn roof. Those are 3 very large things that we need completed, and right now, he hasn't contacted me, so I contacted OSIG. They're putting a team together to review what's going on. They're gonna, sit down with us and they're gonna tell us what our options are. So, need to report that to you. Comanche Nation Parade, guys, we had such a fun time putting together that float for our kids. Our kids put together a wonderful float. We went out there to Comanche Nation. It was amazing to have all of the students working together. It was a great community event. Our students worked really hard, and it was just good school spirit building activity for us. I have some pictures that I'm going to put in this that I put in this evaluation just to sort of show you, but. Our students were so good, that they did such a great job. I'm so proud of them. They represented Indiahoma, and by the way, I've got to tell you that I didn't see any other schools out there. I think it was just us, and I was really pleased about that too. You know, we were the only school represented out there, and our students just did a tremendous job representing us in this community. So, accreditation fall meeting with RAO 6.4. We had our full accreditation visit with our REO, and we passed with flying colors. We didn't have any major problems at all. He did make one recommendation about our committees. So we have a series of committees that meet over various things that we need to have operational for our district, and he recommended that we have student representation on those committees, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'll help facilitate that. We'll talk to some students and see if they wanna sit on those committees. And we'll begin the process of making sure that the students are involved with our planning, because the school's about them, so they need to be involved in it. Other than that, there was no problems at all. He told us that we needed to keep the process that we used. It was very thorough. I just put everything outlined that he wanted, which was pretty extensive, in folders form from A to Z, and he just looked through them and said, everything's here. So, fantastic. 6.5, return to learn plan. We're supposed to take a look at that on a monthly basis, and that's our COVID protocols. So far, there's no health department or federal mandates that say that we have to switch anything, and as we take a look at the students that are sick in the district, they're mostly the flu. There's a lot of flu going around.
Oh, yeah.
So far, very little COVID. There's a few COVID, but not a whole lot. Most of it's the flu. So with that, there's no changes that are recommended with our return to learn plan. I don't have any changes, and so I think we're good to go until next month. Any questions? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. All right, number 7, statement of consent agenda. The following matters may be approved in their entirety by the board upon motion made, seconded, and passed by a majority vote of the board members. However, upon request by any board member, any one or more of said matters will be removed from the consent agenda and acted upon separately. Are there any items anybody would like to look at separately?
I would like to make one correction, and I apologize for this. I looked at that date, and I thought it was wrong, and so I changed it. It's supposed to say September 13th?
Yes.
September 13th.
Okay, on 8.1,
Yes, sir.
is there a motion to approve?
Motion made.
I'll second it. McKinney,
Yes.
Bales,
Yes.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavalla.
Yes.
John, you're still last. That's all right.
Well, sometimes you save the best for last.
That's right.
Not in John's
That-
case, but
That's what I always do,
Mo-
John.
Motion carries. Okay, number 9. No, we didn't remove any, so we don't have to do 9. Number 10. 10.1 is superintendent's presentation of district goals.
One of the things that I have to do in some of these board meetings is I have to present certain items to you regarding my evaluation. And so the way that they have it set up, you can practically go over any of the points that you want to. But I don't see a point of doing that unless you start with the goals. And so that's where I've started. So I'm going to talk to you about our goals for the district, and I have outlined 4 broad stroke goals that we are going to take a look at in tonight's meeting. And the first one, let me see if I can get this thing. It was so touchy before. No, it won't move. Oh, let's talk about our 100-day plan. If you take a look at your packets, When I was interviewing, I gave you a 100-day plan, and I outlined some of the things that I wanted to do in that 100-day plan. And so I've sort of put that out there as a precursor to the goals that I'm about to talk about. So the first thing that I wanted to do is establish an orderly, seamless transition of leadership. And what that means is that there's no big hiccups, that we are moving seamlessly from the, last superintendent, Ms. Vogley, into my leadership and some of the things that we want to do. I think that has been pretty strong so far. And so the next thing is to create opportunities to listen across the spectrum of stakeholders. I've talked to the teachers, I've talked to community members, I've talked to city council members, I've talked to a number of people about what their thoughts are on the district and what needs to be improved and what needs to be worked on. There's a lot of things that I think that we can sort of work on together, and that was part of the goal of this, first 100 days. And then the next one was to develop a strong collaborative relationship with the Indiahoma School Board. And I've tried to the best of my ability to do that, to keep everyone informed and to make sure that we're working together on the goals and what needs to happen to work on all the items for student success and the community success here in Indiahoma. And finally, I wanted to build excitement and momentum for Indiahoma Public Schools' vision, mission, and future plans. And so I do have some goals that I wanted to talk about. And the first thing that you have to understand is that this 100 days ended October 1st. So if you sort of take a look at, the stretch from where I came in about mid-June to July 1st and sort of stretch it out to 100 days, we're just about at the end of that. And then we're beginning the process of going into the next 200-day plus phase. And so there's a number of things that I want to sort of talk to you about in broad strokes that we can take a look at and modify if you guys want to change anything in terms of the goals, right? So let's talk about the first one. The most important thing that I can do here is to promote academic growth for every single student. And in order to do that, we've begun the process of talking about instruction here in the district. The very first time we met, I met with the teachers at the beginning of school. We talked about what instruction should look like. And then October 3rd, when we met again, the whole professional development series of that day was talking about instruction. And in order for us to be able to get on the same footing and to understand what we need to do together as a team, we had to sort of calibrate what a good instruction looks like. So I brought examples. We looked at the TLE, which is the teacher evaluation rubric. We broke it down from A to Z, all the way across the board. The teachers broke it down. We compared notes, and then we looked at videos to see what good instruction really looks like according to this rubric and what the state says it looks like, and what the instruction that is not so good, what that looks like as well, so that we had some way to compare the two. There's a reason why that's important, and everyone needs to be on the same page so that we can begin the process of taking a look at our instruction. But more importantly, if you're going to take a look at vertical alignment, which means that you're looking at instruction from one grade level up to the next grade level, everyone needs to be sort of on the same page. And that's the next thing that we need to work on. Part of this process is not just to be good instructionally at your own grade level, but also to take a look at the next grade level to understand what those skills are that you need to build on for the upcoming school year for those students. And we're going to be taking a look at that. Long range, what we're going to do is I'm going to sit down with our professional development committee, and we're going to take a look at grade expectations. Grade expectations would be a great addition to this campus and to our teachers and our students. We can unify what we're doing into district level, campus level grade level goals that are going to be similar all the way across the board. And so I'm going to take this to our committee and see if this is something that we can implement. I've already started the process of talking with grade expectations and seeing if they can come and talk to our teachers. Something else that we need to do to promote academic growth in every student is establish strong pathways to college and career readiness. There are a lot of people that say that they do this stuff. Oh yeah, we're getting kids ready for college and career. But oftentimes they really don't have a good understanding of what it really takes to get students to the career readiness part. For us, Ms. Thomason does an excellent job of making sure that our students understand what it's going to take to apply to college, to get all of the information in for that, in making sure that the students have the GPA and everything else that they need. She really tracks those students, and I've watched her help students every single step along the way. She does a great job with that. One of the things that we need to really do, though, is take a look at how our students can be career ready. And what that means is, how do we build a pathway for what we're doing here into where students can land a job? There are many students that are right here in Indiahoma that don't want to go to college, and or there are some that are actively trying to support their families right now, and they're not going to be going to college short term. They need a pathway to a career in some way to be able to make a job. That's where this pathway comes in. Part of this also is to build an Indiahoma graduate profile, and they're sort of interrelated, and I want to talk to you about it in just a second, about how this is all going to sort of work together. But let's talk about this career readiness pathway that I'm talking about. We have regional employers here. There's several, very large ones that are within the Lawton regional area. In the past, I sat on business consortiums. In those business consortiums, what we would do is we talk to the employers and ask them, what are you looking for in terms of job skills, student attributes, and those sort of things, so that our students can connect to you in a career pathway. Well, we have Goodyear. We have Republic Paper. They do sheetrocking type stuff. We have Bar S Foods over there, and then we have Silverline Plastics. They're some of our largest employers right here in this area. I've already started to make contacts with these regional employers, and my goal is to go out there and take a tour of their facilities, talk to them about what they're looking for in terms of employers, and then help these students find a way to either intern or go out there and find a job at these facilities. Now, there's one more facility that is within our region that is a huge employer out there, and a lot of people don't think about, and that's the Fort Sill. I talked at the firemen's fundraiser about the Army installation strategy. They're going to take a look at every Army installation across the country, and they're going to make it state of the art over the next 15 years. Well, if you can take a look at that time frame, you're talking about our students that are in pre-K right now, and if we can build the job skills that are needed into our system, we can actually have these students ready, going through Indiahoma, ready for these jobs that are going to be out there. And what kind of jobs are they looking for? I've already sat down to talk with some of the commanders at these military installations. I haven't talked to Fort Sill yet, but I have across the state. And what they're looking for computer programmers, students with computer skills. They're looking for welders, metal fabricators. They're looking for people that can do cybersecurity types of options, because those things are what's going to be needed in the future. Anyone that can work on any sort of mechanics, because what they're looking for is automation. They're going to automate a lot of what the Army is going to be doing, and a lot of the Army installation is going to be doing. If we can embed those skills into our students now and build that into our curriculum, they're going to have a much better chance at landing jobs in the future across the board. The graduate profile sort of works like this. We sit down with the teachers and the community members right here in Indiahoma, and we outline the skills, the knowledge, and the behaviors that we want to see in our students by the time that they graduate. What we do with the job information, once we go out there and take a look at it, is we get the information that they want in skilled employees, and we put that together into a profile. Oftentimes, it's these types of skills right here that I have outlined: leadership, confidence, integrity, honesty, work ethic, teamwork, how to communicate effectively, critical thinking skills, how to adapt, how to problem solve, how to be creative. When you embed those types of things into your curriculum, the students have the soft skills that they need in order to get employed. And so a graduate profile would be something very strong that I think that we could have right here in Indiahoma for the benefit of our students. Those sort of things tie into the academics and my broad goals of what I think that we need to do here to help our students. Number two, ensure safety and security protocols are in place. Many of you already know, or if you don't, and some of our viewers may not know this, but I was actually in Uvalde. My two sons graduated from there. And what happened there was just, it was tragic, it was horrible. But I'm gonna make sure, to the best of my ability, that it doesn't happen here. And it has really impacted me to take a look at our safety and security and making sure everything's in place. So the first thing that we did was we set up the first responders to give a risk assessment of our district. So we had the police officers come out here, we had the game warden who's probably gonna be the closest to us. The sheriff's department was out here, Cache Police were out here. And we gave them an outline of our school, map, where everyone was. And we literally walked the whole campus to make sure that they understood where everything was and, you know, what strengths and weaknesses we had as a school in terms of safety and security. They went over that with us very thoroughly. We also have emergency plans that are in place. We already have them at the first responders. They're already there. We've already sent that to them and they have it firsthand. And then we have ongoing training and drills. And I put the drills in your packet just to kind of show you what we're doing. I think one of the shortfalls, my colleagues in Uvalde and my friends in Uvalde, was that they didn't practice the drills enough. If you take a look at it's on the right side of your packet. If you take a look at the drills, we have it thoroughly outlined what we're doing. I will walk the halls and make sure that everyone is following the security protocols. And I've already had to talk to a couple of our classes because sometimes the students don't take these drills as seriously as I think they should. And I outlined to them, guys, this is really important. Our students already know where our rally point's gonna be if they have to evacuate the building. So we have just about every single measure in place. And we're practicing the safety just as much as we possibly can. And this is gonna be an ongoing process for us. We're gonna drill continuously. We have several drills throughout the year and at least a couple, and sometimes a couple of times a month. So number two, ensure safety and security protocols are in place. That's gonna be very important. Number three, the third broad goal that I have is to develop a strong board and, of course, community relations. And the first thing is to keep the board informed. Guys, I am so sorry. I give you guys calls on your phone and to let you know exactly what's going on in the district. If there's a hot potato in the district, you guys are gonna know about it. And you know, hopefully I'm not going overboard with it, but, you know, I will tell you if there's something going on. And I'll inform you to the best of my ability. Something else that I'm doing that I actually learned from one of my mentors was the redlining of the board agenda. I redline this for a couple of purposes. One is to let you know ahead of time exactly what the discussion points are gonna be. And that way, if you have any kind of questions, you can generate them. It is really hard, it's hard for me, I don't know, maybe some people are better at processing, but it's very hard to process information and then instantaneously begin to think through deep questions that you might need to ask. I'm giving this to you ahead of time and so that you know what all the talking points are, and if you have questions, you can generate them. Something else that we need to do for our community relations is to tell our story. And this has been very true in every single district that I've been to. And that is, if you don't tell your story, then somebody else is gonna tell it for you, and you may not like what they say about you. So we're gonna try to tell our story to the best of our ability. And what that means for me is making sure that the teachers and the community is informed. I sat down during October 3rd and I gave the teachers a State of the District address and explained to them exactly what's coming down the pipeline. Exactly what's gonna happen, and I think that this, for example, this recession's gonna hit us. It's not gonna hit us immediately. I think it's gonna hit us in 24 and maybe 25. There could be a revenue cut, state aid cut during that time. We need to be ready for that. In order for us to stay on top of things, we need the community to understand that. And so we're gonna tell our story to the best of our ability. We do have the newsletter that goes out. It does tell some of the things about that's going on in our district. It's sort of limited in scope, but it is good. It is a good newsletter. But one of the things that I want to do is to reestablish our broadcast program. The way that I've had it in the past, you can have a live broadcast or you can have it recorded, but you can tell everything that's going on on the campus, and the parents can look in real time if they want to. The community can look in real time if they want to. At our broadcast, they can learn about the events that are going on campus, the events that are going on in the future, and if we're astute enough, we might be able to live stream some of our sport events, which would be really fun for our kids. We're talking about it now. We're going to try to reestablish that. We're in the process of trying to reestablish that now. I just wanted to show you, the Comanche Nation Parade. Part of the fun stuff, the kids had a blast, and the float looked so good, I'm just gonna tell you. That was really a lot of fun for us. Okay, the fourth one is to upgrade our facilities and prioritize projects. If you take a look at your packet, I put in there some of the things that we have looked at, and guys, I'm just gonna tell you. I think it's on this side. Mary Jane did a great job of putting the comprehensive needs analysis together for us. I'm not gonna go over this whole thing with you, but there's a lot of things that we need to take a look at in terms of facilities to make our facilities outstanding. And so we're gonna really take a look at it. And there's just a couple that I'm gonna point out to you. If you take a look at the gymnasium is a showcase. People from other communities come here to take a look and be involved in sports, and we need to project ourselves in the very best way possible. That gymnasium is amazing. It was built in 1960. It has some of the best bleachers I've ever seen, but it still needs a little bit of work. I would love to be able to paint the inside of it and make it look just sharp and eye-catching. We're going to install the TVs. We're going to repair some of the damage that's in there. Those things need to be done because so much of our community is involved in that area, and so much of the other communities is really involved in that area. So we really need to take a look at that. And then just our schools in general. We need to make sure that they're looking sharp because our kids and our moms and our dads go out there every single day. So those types of things I want to prioritize and make sure that we're taking care of. All of this was put together. Mary Jane did a fantastic job of putting this together, and we regularly walk the school. I'm just going to tell you, she won't let me just leave something alone. She takes care of business. If you take a look at this last page here, these are the projects that are currently in process or complete. And so we have a lot of things going on that is actually taking care of some of the things on this list. But we've retiled the lobby floors. We've gotten the secure storage container to lock up our stuff at the ag barn. We put the roof on the ag barn. The scoreboard's installed and complete. The carpet's been replaced in 4 classrooms. We have water dispensers instead of the water fountains so that it's a little bit more sanitary. We've rekeyed the gyms for security and replaced the stage flooring that was falling through. And then all of these other things are in progress. So there's a lot going on. I'm really, I put in progress the outside lights in the courtyard, which is right out here. Ms. Roberts is so fast at that stuff, it's already complete. I'm just letting you know, it's already complete. So she did a great job. All of the rest of this is going to be done. The replacement on the windows, we're still getting bids on. So we're taking a look at that, but that looks like maybe second semester. But these are the 4 broad goals that I have. Are there any questions? I know I went over it really fast. There's a lot going on in the district.
It's not really a question, but it may be something that you weren't aware of. Before you came on board, we discussed in the gym, the northeast corner, there was bleachers right there, taking some of those
It's
out
on
and
here.
putting in a wheelchair. Is
It's
that
on
done
here.
already?
It's on here.
That's a great question.
It's
Thank
not
you.
It's on there, it's on there.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. We just got, we talked to the Comanche tribe.
Right.
They have graciously allowed $10,000 for that project.
Who was this?
The Comanche tribe.
Amen.
They liked your float too.
Well, we're in the process of trying to figure out how all of that's gonna work.
Yeah, okay.
And we may not be able to get to it before season starts in basketball, but we're definitely gonna have it by second semester, I think. We're
That's
working
super.
on it now.
Super, okay. You're ahead of me. It's fantastic. I'm glad you are.
Any questions or comments, or, I mean, if you guys want me to change something, I can definitely.
I was thinking that in this, preparing the students for employment later on, you may have it in your package already, but they need to be taught how to interview for a job. That's key, how you dress, how you look, how you speak, because you can go in there with all kinds of skills and abilities, and, if you got chewing tobacco in your mouth and a torn shirt, you're probably not gonna be real successful.
Absolutely,
So, interview, learn how to interview.
absolutely right.
I don't know
Yes,
how
sir.
close you've been in touch with VOTEC, our area VOTEC, but they've addressed this similarly with Goodyear and everything, where they come in and try to cater to what the needs with the, very much, you're given a head start,
Yeah.
basically, doing it in our school, because they've done that too, so you might.
And not
Pick their
everyone-
brains.
And not all of our kids go to VOTEC.
Right, that's
you know,
true.
As they still may be
Yeah.
looking for a job there.
One of the advantages that I have is that I used to be a career and technology education director. I was in charge of that program. And this is what I did. I developed the pathways, I developed the programs, I made sure students had the skill sets, I met with the businesses. We would meet once a month about what was available in terms of job skills for the students, what they were looking for, how do we get students into high wage, high skill, high demand jobs. And that's what we should be doing with our students anyway.
I just saw you were talking about employers. The number one employer in the state of Oklahoma is the tribes. The different tribes in the state of Oklahoma. And, well, you're already tapping that, so it's great.
And the skills they need is the
Same one, same
skills.
skills.
It's
Same
the
skills.
same skills. It's the
Absolutely.
computer they taught them.
But that interview-
IT, technology stuff, yeah.
Okay,
I don't like it, but that's where we're going.
all right.
I'm old.
Well, thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, one. We're finished with 10.1. Thank you very much, sir. 10.2, consideration and possible board action to approve resolution to County Election Board authorizing the holding of annual school election, designating offices to be filed at the annual school election, and closing a polling place.
They actually have two packets on this, but I think I gave you guys one in your board packet that I've given you the colored packets there. The deadline to submit the resolution for the Board of Education election is the close of business on November 18th, so we're gonna be far ahead of that.
Okay.
The law states the Board of Education primary election is on Tuesday, February 14th. And the Board of Education general election is on April 4th, 2023. The filing period opens at 8 a.m. Monday, December 5th, and closes December 9th.
And which seat will be open this, well, we'll take care of that later.
Yeah.
So, I move to approve the resolution.
I
Second.
second.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bales.
Yes.
Ramirez. Yes. Cook. Yes. Cavall.
Yes.
Just for 1 second, did you all know that there's a District 11 meeting?
No.
No,
No.
I haven't received
I'll-
anything.
I haven't gotten an email or anything.
Well, I don't get to do it anymore. You have to go on and do it yourself, but I saw where it was gonna be. So I'll get the information to you.
Okay, yeah,
Where is it?
okay.
I think, it's in, do you know, Cindy?
I saw it, I cannot
Not gonna
remember
be
where
Flower
I
it was.
want
Mound.
to say Life Ready Center, but I'm not sure that's right.
Maybe
I
the
think
life-
We
I
did
think
one
so.
there before, yeah.
They like to
just-
show it off.
Yeah, but I'll get the info to you. But
Look,
used
with
to,
our original
I
guy,
could,
Flower
put you
Mound's
all
here.
in and send a
It's
little,
not at
but
Flower Mound, cause I looked at
Okay,
that,
you
it
know.
wasn't at Flower Mound
no,
this
it
time.
wasn't Flower Mound.
I just can't
It
remember.
may be Lawton High,
Yeah, it's been there before too.
but I'll get it to
Can't
you.
remember.
Okay.
And then you'll have to go in and register yourself.
It's points. You do learn stuff, really. It's a good thing to go to, and you don't have to travel a long way to get them. Or
And they
get
feed you
online.
Mexican all the time.
Lawyer.
Motion carries on 10.2. 10.3, review and vote to approve or disapprove the Impact A, Section 8003, Indian Policies and Procedures.
I've included that in your packet. But the policies and procedures outline how the district will provide information and equal opportunity to our Native American students. And this is within our athletic, extracurricular, and instructional programs across the board. We need to monitor the participation in our programs and activities, and we'll present that information to the committee in January. That's generally when we meet. We'll provide information to the community on our website or through notification, through our parent notification program.
So there are no changes to,
No, no, this goes all the way to, I think 25. It's in there, it's on there.
is there any discussion? Is there a motion?
I move that we vote to approve the impact date program.
So, I second the motion.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bales?
Yes,
Ramirez?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Cavall?
Yes.
motion carries. 10.4, vote to approve or not approve Carrie Thomason as the Title IX Coordinator for school year 2022/2023.
The Title IX coordinator, as everyone is well aware, monitors our harassment policies, our bullying policies, and discrimination.
Yeah,
And so we need someone that's designated in that area.
gotta have it.
Yes, sir.
And she's got the lucky straw, right?
And she's trained up.
Yeah, she's, you don't have to train anybody else for it.
Nope, she's trained up and ready to go.
Yeah, as long as she's ready.
I'll make the motion, we approve.
I second
McKinney?
it. Yes.
Bales?
Yes.
Ramirez?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Cavall?
Yes.
Tell her we're sorry, but she got it again. It's pretty good. Motion carries. Number 10.5, student transfer numbers.
Yeah, so in 2021, there was a change in state law that states that we need to do, make some changes in our student transfer policy. This was across the state. Basically, it outlines student transfers and how we can or cannot approve student transfers. And so every single year, quarterly, we have to set numbers. And so I'm bringing these numbers to you today. Everyone should have the transfer numbers in your packet on the left-hand side.
I'll share it, yours, yeah.
I'll share.
Is it not in there?
I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm gonna share. I
Oh,
can do
okay,
that more
okay.
easily.
Just so you guys know, we're supposed to do this in October, January, April, and July, quarterly. And we have to input this information, and so these numbers have to be approved by the board. And so the way that I have these numbers outlined for you on this sheet is that I have the in-district numbers, how many students are transfers, and then a recommendation for how many open slots we should have. And I'm basing this on very low numbers of about 15 per class in most cases, okay? So pre-K4, we have 11, no open slots. Kindergarten, there's 13 students overall, 1 transfer student. I'm saying 2 open slots. Second grade, there's 17 students with 1 transfer, 0 open slots, that's above our 15. Third is 13 students with 2 open slots. Fourth is 8 students, 2 of them are transfers with 7 open slots. Our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade numbers are extraordinarily low, as you can see.
Yeah.
5th grade, we have 6 students, 2 transfers, 9 open slots. 6th grade, there's 7 students with 8 open slots. 7th grade, 12 students with 3 open slots. 8th grade, there's 15 students, 0 open slots. And then there's a difference. So in House Bill 1017, it sort of outlines the limit sizes per class. And so in pre-K, you can have 10 to 1. As long as you don't go over 5, you don't have to hire another teacher. We're 1 over, so we don't have to get another teacher. In K through 6, the number is 20 to 1 ratio, 20 students to 1 teacher, okay? And then 7 through 12, because students go from one class to the next, right? You can't have more than 140 students. It's a different way to take a look at it. And so I wanted you guys to sort of
Okay.
understand that bottom part. So our high school numbers, we have 12 students, 3 of them are transfer for 3 open. 10th grade, there's 14 students, 4 transfer, 1 open. 11th grade, there's 14 students with one open. In 12th grade, there's 14 students with one open. I'm trying to keep the numbers around 15, because, you know, we have historically had very low numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't want the numbers to get extraordinarily high unless you guys want to change them. If you would like to change them, I'm more than open.
Not need to change them.
No,
I mean,
no,
we
there's
don't
no-
have the, you know,
No, we're not.
we could
getting-
set it at 1,000, but we're not gonna get 1,000 third graders, you know,
Correct.
whatever, so.
Yeah.
What exactly are the transfers, though?
Okay, great question. Thank you. Thank you for that. I assumed everybody knew. There's two groups of students that attend our school. One of them lives in our attendance zones. So they live in the area of Indiahoma.
Okay.
And then you have other students that are coming to us, but they don't live in the Indiahoma school district. Those are our transfer students, and we have to keep track of them by state law. The reason why this is important is because of funding. So if a student
Right.
lives outside of the district and say is in cash, but they're coming here, we're actually getting the funds for, we theoretically are getting the funds for that student from cash. And if our students are going over to cash, you know, theoretically, that money travels with them.
Yeah, that was why the
That-
legislation was passed, so the money would go with the kid.
Yes.
And
Theoretically.
that clarifies it for me, but to go back a little bit, with our Indian students, a lot of times we send out the papers every year, and some parents don't wanna fill them out, they think for whatever reason. But it is actually hurting the school and it's hurting those students to not get them funds.
Yes.
And I don't know how
Yes.
we can emphasize that everybody, all the students' parents need to fill those papers out.
The impact aid,
Yeah, the impact,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I think we're pretty good about getting those in, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
I
we-
think we have a lot more success
We
here
track them
than a lot
down.
of schools.
If we
do.
have to go,
That's-
we track them
They
down.
go to the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I've seen Ms. Rogley do it.
Now,
I'm a
just,
soda pop.
just as a point of understanding for everyone, there's only two reasons why we legally can tell a student that they can't transfer in. So, you know, legally, any student can transfer in, and we shouldn't be able to stop them, but there's two basic reasons why legally we can't. One is through attendance, and the attendance, as I understand it, is missing 10 days in the current semester. So that's one. And the second one is for certain types of suspension, where students are, you know, not allowed to come to school for very specific reasons. And I'm not talking about in-school suspension, I'm talking about external suspension where they're not allowed to come into the campus. For those reasons only, the state says, you know, we can deny a transfer. Even if we deny the transfer for those reasons, they can still appeal it to the board. Just letting you know.
What board?
This board.
Or the numbers are more than we can support.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
Or the
Oh,
numbers are more than we can support.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
true.
Sizes. Okay,
Absolutely right.
gotcha.
And they can still appeal that.
They can appeal it, if they appealed here and they didn't like their answer, they can appeal to the state. Yes. There's a protocol for that.
All right, thank you very much.
So we need to either approve or.
Approve of
Oh,
it,
the
yeah,
transfer
that's-
numbers?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you didn't have that on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, though.
To approve.
Approve or
Oh,
not.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Can we do
month.
that next time?
We sure can.
Approve it?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and post these as our, I mean, we can change them at any time.
Right, yeah. All right, and 10.6, consideration and possible action on going into executive session to discuss the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee, and to conduct ongoing superintendent evaluation as identified in accordance with the provisions of 25 OS Section 307B1. 10.7, vote to convene or not convene into executive session. I move that we convene into executive session.
I'll second. At 6:40. McKinney,
Yes.
Bales,
Yes.
Ramirez.
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Cavalla.